joining me today for this video comments. Today we're going to talk about what is the table of contents when you think of enterprise mobility. What would be the categories you would need to think through when planning enterprise mobility? I have some I'm just going to propose for you to think about and for us to discuss. The number one that I put on my list is thinking about enterprise mobility. That's an important subject that I believe requires some time and some pondering. Is enterprise mobility, do you think about it the same way you do, let's say, a CRM system or a business intelligence system? Or do you need to think about enterprise mobility as something different? I would suggest that it requires thinking about something different. When you look at an enterprise, oftentimes you look at ERPs and how the ERP can support the business as a whole. But when you look at mobility, it's often beneficial to think of mobility from the perspective of the mobile user. What does the mobile user need in their unique role and responsibility to do their job the most efficiently and productively? By thinking from the perspective of the mobile user, you may realize that that mobile user, in fact, needs access to many different systems. So by putting yourself in the shoes of the mobile user, you might end up with a totally different mobile solution. Another category, re-engineering for enterprise mobility. What needs to be re-engineered? When you start considering how GPS coordinates can be used to make route optimization recommendations, where you can dispatch the closest available and qualified field service engineer, you start thinking perhaps we should consider location when we look at our business process. So perhaps we should add that data field where we're capturing that GPS location on the mobile device or the vehicle in which our field service technician is using, and consider that before we assign task and service tickets. That is an example of how one little thing may encourage you to change the way you do your processes today. Enterprise systems and mobile solutions. You know, literally, if we take the words of SAP mobility experts to heart, they believe there's literally thousands of potential enterprise mobility solutions out there, because they believe that very quickly the preferred front-end or GUI for ERPs will be a GUI that works on a mobile device, perhaps a smartphone or a tablet. So then you say, what screens to what applications should I put on mobile devices? Well, when you look at the full inventory of an ERP like SAP and all the products in their inventory list, it can be massive. Add to that customization, and how many unique variations? Literally thousands. And if you want those to be supported on mobile devices, there's going to be some thinking that needs to be done there. ROIs in enterprise mobility. Of course, this topic can be endless. For every customized environment, there's a unique ROI. But there are some very well documented ROIs, and that's one of the things I find so interesting and so helpful in the area of enterprise mobility, is the fact that ROIs are fairly easy to document and they're rock solid. You don't have to get creative to create ROIs in enterprise mobility. Calculating the cost of mobile solutions. Of course, there's an endless variety of mobile solutions you can deploy, but there are some key areas you can look at there. What are they charging? How much customization do you need to do, or do you need to contract out? What are you getting for that solution? Is it a SaaS, software as a service model? Are you buying licenses? Is it per user, per device, per concurrent user? Is it a yearly subscription fee or a monthly subscription fee? How much application implementation time is involved? How much project time is involved? All of those things impact ROIs. Something to consider there. And if you'd like to talk about those more, don't hesitate to just reach out and contact me, because I've written lots of documents on ROIs in the enterprise mobility space, and I'm very happy to share those with you. Strategies for designing and developing enterprise mobility solutions. Of course, we talked earlier about how many different variations of a mobile solution there might be. Some of them require you to create and develop the application from scratch, upload it to an app store, distribute and promote it to your own employees. Others say, no, you don't have to do that at all. You download one client that's already developed, and we will load all the mobile applications you want into the same exact client. That's another strategy. Another strategy is we will create rich, thick mobile clients that have their own databases on them. So if you lose connectivity with the internet, you still have access to your data on the device. That takes a lot more support, a lot more implementation time. You have to consider all the synchronization issues, the conflict resolution when synchronization fails, or when multiple sources try to update the same records at the same time. All of these things are interesting but require a different strategy. Others are browser-based. So they build one app that works in the browser, so any kind of operating system out there can support it. Some of those actually take you to the next step and allow you to take advantage also of the native development environment on each of the mobile operating systems. Others don't. Others go for least common denominator. So you look at all these different variations, and there's a lot. Another category, what are the questions you should be asking your IT organization before you're starting? Not just your IT organization, but your business. More questions. Do you want to buy the application, subscribe to it, or develop it yourself? Each one of those have their own set of questions to ask. What is the value of standardizing on a mobile enterprise application platform? Do you need one mobile enterprise application platform, or will your requirements demand multiple platforms? What are the associated costs and differences in the total cost of ownership over the duration of that product? Those are all questions your IT and business department should be asking. Mobility projects are unique. How are they unique from other traditional IT development projects? Well, you need to consider devices. You need to consider how to support an environment where devices and mobile operating systems may in fact be updated weekly or monthly. How do you keep up with that rapid pace of change? Does your vendor, if you buy a mobile platform, does your platform vendor take care of that for you? Or what is your responsibility to then upgrade your mobile applications every time there's a change in devices and operating systems? That's one of the key ones actually for everybody to be considering. And what else is unique? So many mobile applications actually work across multiple business units. They're not just horizontal. Multiple business units, multiple industries, different regions with different requirements. Also, how do you handle international roaming charges? What if you were to schedule and organize a sales kickoff in Paris, France, and you flew 200 of your best sales representatives to Paris? What would your roaming charges look like after a 4-day sales kickoff? Who's going to pay for them? Who's going to approve them? What are your company's policies around that? More things that need to be considered. Supporting enterprise mobility solutions is another area you really need to ponder. Are you going to really just push this responsibility onto the IT help desk? If you are, how many more people do you need to add in order to support 5,000 mobile users connecting in to a large variety of different back-end systems using any kind of mobile device? How do you manage that? How do you support help desk issues in that environment? Do you limit the number of mobile devices you're willing to support? How do you protect and secure your corporate data on those devices? What is your governance? What is your policies around that? These are some of the categories to think about. And again, the devices, are you going to support any kind of tablet or just some tablets? Any kind of smartphone or just some kind of smartphones? Any kind of operating system in the mobile environment or just one or two or three mobile operating systems? When all three change, which operating system gets prioritized over the other two? All these need to be considered. How do you manage multiple mobile applications that may all be impacted at the exact same time by an upgrade to a mobile operating system? An upgrade you were not necessarily notified about, but your employees happen to synchronize their iPhones over the weekend, and all of a sudden they're on a version that your enterprise mobile application does not support. Your help desk is inundated with phone calls. What is that process? How do you manage that? These are just some of the fun questions that you need to know about. Some of the things you need to ponder. Don't hesitate to call or email me if you have more questions or would like to learn more. Thank you very much for joining us today.